Hello, and welcome to Depth Perception. We discuss movies and dive into how films direct the way we experience them. We create a perception of sound, a perception of sight, with a dimension of mind. We move into a land of both shadow and substance, of themes and ideas. This is episode 17, brought to you by the movie Alien. I believe 1979. I'm not even going to read off any synopsis or anything. We all know Alien. So again, to my left, the man of tin. Tin Man.
Thank you for having me again.
And K-Max to my right.
Yes, I'm here. Let's go, Alien. Classic stuff.
All right, so our last movie, Skinamarink, was kind of a under the radar, and now we have our very much on the radar Alien, and we just had a sequel of it come out a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Romulus.
That's right.
So alive and well, the franchise is. But I wanted to kind of start off with our experiences watching Alien and the Alien franchise. Tin Man, why don't you go first?
Okay, so I hadn't seen the first one until I watched it at your house this year, I think.
Oh,
So I saw bits and pieces of the first one, but I watched the second one with an old girlfriend. She introduced me to it back in the day, and that was like one of my favorite movies was Aliens, and it had like the Marines, it had like the military guys, and in their I don't know, their screen presence, demeanor, and how they interacted with each other was such like a fun experience. And then it turned into like a war movie. And then I saw the third one a long time ago, and I didn't really watch it again until I think it was here. I watched it the third time when I was here again.
we're good.
And then I saw Resurrection in the old Four Seasons. I watched it there with my grandma Wendy back in the day.
Wow.
She took us to go see it.
That's cool.
And I like that one. That one was a fun one. I really thought that was a cool movie. But I didn't see the first one until this year. So this is my first time watching it. And I was prepared for it to be a little slower. Wasn't as like high speed and guns and stuff like that like the second one was. So I was like, okay, I'll prepare myself for a little more, that creepy, slow
Like atmosphere.
Yes. So it's very much 1970s idea of a dirty, almost like they were like truckers in space. Mm-hmm. So it was like cargo ships and whatnot, and people in deep, hypersleep coming out of it. And so my first time watching it was only a couple months ago. So I really enjoyed it though. It was my first time watching it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that we have kind of a broad range of how many times people have watched it within this conversation here. Mm-hmm. K-Max.
I was alive when the first one first came out. I'm born in '72, and I know I didn't see it when it first came out because I think the first time I saw it was on VHS at home. So I didn't see it in the theaters. I've since seen it in the theater on like a re-release, like an anniversary type thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've seen it in the theater also. I think I've watched it a total of 3 times. The last time being just last week.
Okay.
Watching it for a third time, but enjoyed it. Thought as I was watching it, this isn't the Alien that I watched. I was thinking of the second one,
Yeah.
Aliens, which you mentioned, and that's iconic in a lot of ways to me. The suit, the robot suit to move things, where she's like a forklift operator type thing.
Yep.
And a couple other things about that. The android, the synthetic in that one was a little bit more iconic too, I thought.
Right.
But the things that I did that were iconic about the Alien franchise that came through were like the face sucker thing, the through the chest thing.
Yeah.
And the introduction of Jonesy, the cat. You know what I mean? Like seeing the origins of that and being a fan of Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. It's kind of neat to go back to the OG and say, "Oh, this is some foundational stuff here. This is there's some foundational themes even that carry over to at least Aliens. I'm not sure beyond that, but there's themes that get expanded on from Alien to Aliens that I thought were done better in Aliens, but definitely started out and were laid out in Alien.
Yeah.
So I like the franchise a lot. Even like the Alien versus Predator, like a little bit of fun. And I haven't seen, I guess, the prequels, the Alien Romulus, right?
Romulus, Prometheus, Alien Covenant. I think those are the three.
And Prometheus, I've seen that, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And you're the one who told me. I didn't even know it was related at all to Alien. Or Aliens. I didn't. And then when he told me, I'm like, well, that makes perfect sense. I thought those drawings and things looked very familiar. That's my connection experience with the series.
Nice. I grew up playing with the Alien toys before I watched any of the movies, and rightfully so. Very, very R-rated movies, but I had the Alien Queen, and we had an Alien toy where you push the back of it and it blew up the alien. So I was like waiting to be able to watch those movies. That's cool. I think I watched them in reverse order. So Alien Resurrection was about the time that I really got into it, I feel like. My grandmother had just weird movies on VHS. So Gremlins is one of them. I think she might have had The Sixth Sense maybe. But Alien Resurrection recorded. So not the actual VHS, but a recorded off the TV version of Alien Resurrection. So whenever I, during the summer would hang out there, that was typically the movie that I would be watching. And so from there, went backwards. So I think I watched Alien 3 after that, Aliens, and then finally Alien. But it always felt like I had this feeling about Alien. I was like, that's going to be a lot different than the movies I've been watching. So it was like, as a kid, I watched that one the least. So it was maybe like once, and then maybe parts, as a teen. And then as I got to be more young adult, it was like, okay, Alien. I think I actually like Alien the best out of all of them. And I think that's probably currently where I stand with it too. But I love each entry for different reasons, and I think it's cool because we'll discuss this in a bit, but they cover such different genre, different themes, different feels, different atmospheres in their movies. Yeah, from movie to movie.
That's true. Yeah, there's definitely a different inspiration behind them. So much from the next one.
Yeah, and but we'll get into that, and we definitely have a section for that specifically. But I also wanted to move into kind of what lens you're watching this movie with, because I feel depending on what you're looking for or how many times you've seen it, your lens may change when watching this. For example, you could watch this with a pure entertainment lens. You can watch it thinking this is a haunted house in space. You can think of it as a sci-fi. You can think of it as like a franchise entry in relation to all the other movies. So you can be looking for different clues, like the space jockey that they find in the spaceship on the planet. You're relating that to like Prometheus, like that sort of thing. And some people see it with sexism, or they're focused on the heroine side of things, because this strong and this normal of a heroine character was pretty rare, it seems, around the time it came out. And another lens that you could be looking at it is as like a blue-collar worker exploitation. But the one that I watched with this time relates heavily to my theme, so I'm not sure if I should. So I watched it with the idea of a lot of the sexual imagery and kind of trying to pick pieces from it to support the theme that I thought I was trying to get across to us. So that's how I watched it this time. How did you guys watch it? I know, well, Tin Man, you said it was your first time watching it, so like your lens was pretty much just, give it to me. Like,
Yeah, I had a little bit of hint about the theme that you're going to go into later on about the movie, but I didn't watch it with that. I kind of was like, okay, my first time watching it, it was on a Joe Rogan podcast where he was saying like that was one of his favorite horror movies of all time. And he somebody had mentioned it's like Jaws in space. So I looked at it as like a thriller like a slasher, but your killer's an alien thriller in space. So that's how I looked at it. And as I'm watching it, trying to pick up on the little clues and details and stuff about it, because I was able to repress a little bit of the clues later on, about Ash and some of the other stuff involved. Like I was like, no, I can just enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at being able to just shut that gear off. I feel like you have enough training and schooling behind you where it's hard to, if you wanted to just watch a movie, sometimes I feel like you're still trying to pick up clues and find themes and detail a movie when you're watching it.
right.
I have to work hard to turn that gear on. So I will almost automatically just entertainment value, see what it has. And that's what I was able to do. And I really did enjoy it.
Nice.
So like a thriller space slasher type idea is what I had for the movie. And it fit it well. And I really enjoyed it that way.
Yeah, and the thing is, with all of these lenses, I feel like Alien is a rare movie that fits those lenses as much as you want it to.
And executes it well in each of those. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
K-Max.
Well, so my first desire for any movie I watch is entertainment. Any art, any concert, anything that is my free time better entertain me.
Yeah.
And even learning the things that I have, that is always going to be job one of any mass media is going to be entertain me or leave.
Yeah.
Entertain me or leave because I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time. And so it was my first. And then the second was whenever there's sequels, multiple sequels, and when I haven't visited them, because when I first watched Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, it was all entertainment, right? And then having viewed a couple of them a couple times, it was then looking at the scope and sequence of events, how things fit and connect with each other.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating with sequels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's a huge conversations to be had about Lord of the Rings and what happened to Tom Bombadil and Star Wars and different things like that. And those fascinations draw me to series.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
finding out what's canon, what's not, what's acceptable, what's not. And Alien had a little bit of that, and so it made me feel like, does this fit? So that was the second lens. And then the third and final lens was now, like watching it last week. Hugely different from entertainment or even scope and sequence, because now I'm taking a look at the OG, taking a look at it with the purpose of, because I know I can't unhear, I had one of our listeners told me this term, you can't unring a bell that's been rung. You hear it. So I can't unsee Alien the way that it was presented. And I can't unhear all the commentary that I've known about it for years. Can't undo it. And so then I'm forced to look at it now through the lens of, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
All those people saying those things, where's their evidence? What are they talking about? So I found myself watching it almost purely through that filter, saying, all right, show me this.
Okay.
If the writers have said this was their purpose, the director said this is the purpose, the executive producer said this is the purpose, let's see where you did this then. How did you get this by me? I know how you got it by me. I'm just wanting the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Like Sigourney Weaver? Whitey tighties? Okay, that's okay. That's not so bad. That's okay. Kitty cat, like cats also. I mean, aliens, there's some scary stuff. Terrifying haunted house type horror, too. So that was fine with me for entertainment. But now looking through and trying to look at it through like a social commentary lens, I'm like, yeah, there's some pretty obvious things there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I kind of because typically when we watch a movie together or for each assignment, I like to get your guys' initial reactions. But this movie, because of its popularity and how long it's been out for, I kind of skipped that because, like, I can't remember my initial reactions. I just know that it was different than the other movies, and it was more of a atmospheric, scary movie. So the only one of us that can really go back that far is Tin Man, because this was his first time watching it. So I kind of skipped the initial reactions for this one. But I do want to hear your favorite scenes, or the scenes that you thought were the most tense.
It's probably when I believe Ripley's inside, like trying to talk to Mother, and Ash is in there with her. The scenes with Ash where he's kind of in the midst of the double cross, and you're kind of aware of it now, and you're waiting for him to, I don't know, play his hand kind of thing. And those scenes together where he's calculating and she's calling him out. I feel like those scenes I thought were real cool, because I'm 100% invested in the movie when I'm watching those parts, because I'm kept track of how the story was going along. I'm like, oh, I kind of knew that he was who he was. I knew he was an android, but I wasn't sure he was like a bad guy android yet.
Right.
Because I just saw like a little picture of him, covered in the white stuff, because, the other guy was too, in Aliens. And so I go, oh, okay, so he must be an android. But I didn't know what his role was. I didn't know he was like, oh, we're going to save this, and you guys are all expendable.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that when I was watching it the first time. So I was like, oh, I wonder what his role is. But he's playing it this way. Oh, and she's calling him out. Is he going to turn on her? Like, I was waiting for those moments to happen. So I thought those were well crafted, because it had built so much character and tension up to those moments that those had weight to them, to where I'm fully invested and they're just talking. And so I thought those were really cool scenes.
I liked the one that you brought up where she's talking to Mother, and you don't know that Ash is there yet, and she's typing in the stuff like.
And he's sitting on.
Yeah, she leans back, and
he's sitting right
just
next to her. Yeah,
there. Which, in modern movies, they're going to make that a jump scare, but in this one, it was just like, he's just lurking in the background, just knowing everything, and that was that was how that happened. It was like she leaned back, and there he is, just updating himself with all the information again. Did you have any scenes that you thought were like tense or more on the horror side of things?
Oh yeah, when Alien shows up, or when it's there and you didn't realize it was there until it starts moving.
Like kind of just hidden in plain sight.
Yes, yeah. Or because he looks like the ship. It's built like the
Nostromo.
Yes, Nostromo is the ship, and it has looks like it's mimicking the gears and tubes and things that look like the artist who they had built the idea of. I forgot his name. H.R.
Giger.
Giger, yeah. So if you've ever seen any of his artwork, you're like, oh, that's exactly what this world is supposed to look like.
Like a sexual demon.
Yes.
Biomech
sex demon. Yes.
That's exactly
and then it blends into the ship just like that. And that's how it's.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this demon monster that's half a thing, half a non-thing.
Yeah.
And it's. Oh, it was right there the whole time. Now it's moving. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
some
where
good
the ship's
scenes.
penis is. I mean, it's the first thing I
It's-
thought when he
it's
comes out of
coming
that
off-
compartment. I'm
it's
like,
off the back of his
"Whoa,
face."
Here it is. Because you couldn't see it in that little dark cabin. And all of a sudden it's like, her eyes kind of focus on it. And like,
Yeah.
then it slowly starts. I'm like, wait, what? That just freaked me right out, I think.
There was some good horror elements
Kind
in
of
that. Yeah.
piggybacking on your moment there.
Oh, take it.
well, K-Max, what do you got for...
Well, I thought the I don't want to say the obvious one, but that thing comes jumping out and boom on his face. I'm like, what? I mean, just oh my gosh! And then everything about that tension from the moment that it's on his face, having its way with his face, and then even when they bring him in and it's still on there, and then they try to use the prongs to take it off and it tightens around his neck. It all made you feel like ooh, that like with his Skinamarink idea. it made you feel helpless, and it made you feel
you built a relationship with the crew, and the guy that they've been following the entire time. You're thinking I was almost like the main character. Only afterwards, you know, Sigourney Weaver's your main character.
Yeah,
but if you were just to watch this initially, you'd think that guy was the main character.
I thought that first time and second time watching it, like, this guy's not gonna. You're the guy that gets the face sucker on you.
Yeah, no, he's the guy they see first waking up. He's the first one they lead that goes out exploring.
Your traditional hero.
Yeah, right. And I forgot. I'm like, no, the one horror element is the chest bursting scene. That's got to be the most obvious.
Right.
Because I guess the crew wasn't aware of how much blood and stuff was going to burst out. That the one female's reaction was like real because they just sprayed her with blood. Jeez. But they didn't. They see their script and it just goes, like they see the noise. But I didn't know they might have known that the thing was going to come up, but they didn't know it was going to be blood and stuff come spraying out on them. So all their reactions are like the legit first reactions to the...
It was so classic slasher looking, like 70s horror slasher.
Yeah.
Look right. Look at everybody's face and then take off running like a little seahorse running through the thing.
Seahorse.
I don't know how
gremlin.
To describe
it. Ran like a gremlin. Yeah.
Like, here I go. Yeah. He was running off. I was like watching it. I'm like almost laughing. But I laugh when I'm nervous and scared too. So it's probably because I was terrified.
That's all right. You got it. It's the,
that was definitely a scary moment. I thought another really scary, tense moment was where you know what's behind. So there's two people left besides Ripley. The lady, the one that's always frantic and just panicking, and the black fella.
The black guy, yeah.
They're kind of like on their own. I think he's got the flamethrower, does he not? Maybe not. I don't know. The two of them are kind of on their own. And he sees or she sees one of them see it behind one, you know what I mean? Like, and they're just kind of like, oh no, they can see it behind the other one. Like that moment of...
Well, she's like in front of the wall or door, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the camera angles are kind of tricky in it because you can see the silhouette of the alien. But I'm assuming that it's coming towards her because the other guy is kind of among machinery or tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's not hidden, but he's off away from her.
Yeah.
And he's saying, run, get away. And so I'm assuming that the alien's coming straight towards her.
Yeah.
He comes in to try and like save her. And
it was so uncomfortable. I mean, it goes back to that nightmare fuel where you see it unfolding and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what it felt like to me. It was like, and I don't know if that was on purpose, but it might have been like.
Well, that's the alien wasn't, you compare it to like the future installments, where they're like crawling all over and, but this thing just moved with this certainty. It was like a slasher, as Tin Man was saying, where it was just like Michael Myers walking down the hallway, like the one shot when it's going towards, I forget her name, Tin Man's on it. But it's almost like he's just floating towards her. It's not even like he's stepping.
Yeah.
And it was just this impending doom that they would not escape.
Lambert,
that's it. So the sense of dread where it was, nope, you guys, that's it, you're done. Which I think is interesting, a little off topic, but when you talk about zombies, what's better, the slow zombies or the fast zombies? Well, this is why you could make an argument for slow zombies because of how, because you relate it to like the future installments and the aliens just zipping around. It's like, oh, well, yeah, there's no reaction time. The guy, he got killed. Where in this one, it's the slow walk towards you where you can't do anything about it. Like you have that time to feel the dread. So that, a little off topic, but
that's why Michael Myers was always so scary to me. It was just like, he's not running after you. It's just a slow walk.
He's going to get you.
He will get you.
He'll get you. Just a matter of time.
It's just like an impending doom. And I talk about like the OG films that introduce new scares or new technology or what something might look like in the future, right? So like even like the radar, the little thing that they have to go chase the thing down, the little blip, blip. How many movies have we seen where you see the enemy or the scary thing or a blip? Even playing Call of Duty, you got the heart rate.
Yep.
Blip, blip, blip. you wonder, these people that create these things in film, how much credit they deserve for a wide range of application to the ideas they've had. Mm-hmm. And what they get from me, the modern film watcher, is that is such garbage. They do it so much better now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so instead of getting the credit they deserve, they get critiqued by people like me. You know, not really though, but you know what I mean? Like I look at it critically, I'm like, I liked Aliens a lot because it was easier to watch. It was smoother and it made more sense. And why? I don't know why, because the special effects were so much better. Well, guess what? It's piggyback on something that's never been done before, like things that came after Star Wars. First question that one of our viewers that I watched with, one of the things that they said was, when you see the ship coming from the foreground going into the background a little bit originally, was, did this come out before or after A New Hope? You know what I mean? Because in watching some of the stuff on Disney Channel about making of the special effects of Star Wars, you see how groundbreaking a lot of the stuff was.
Yeah.
And I saw that first scene on Alien, I'm like, this is pretty darn good. Before or after, I don't know, but
I think it's slightly after.
yeah, I think so
wanna
too.
Say a studio had tried to pitch the idea, like, they're making so much money off of Star Wars, where's our next space movie? And the only one they had available was this slow slasher killer alien in space that was nothing like Star Wars, but they
Yeah.
were like, this is what we got.
Yeah.
And they were like, send it. So they end up getting like a lot more money for the budget based on the studio needing a space movie to
competition.
match. Yeah, to
Yeah, and we're all
competition with
better
that
off
space
for
movie.
it.
Yeah. So, some of my favorite scenes, I mean, obviously the chest burster, but breaking it down a little bit.
That's awful. It's really bad.
I have to see if the recording cut.
Tin Man, why would you say
Why would I
things
say
like
that?
But I was kind of watching that part with a different lens too, just to see technically how they did, how they made that scene so effective. And I feel like it starts off with having the wide shot of them talking over each other, doing something simple like eating. Like everyone's eating, even the cat's eating, and they're talking over each other, and there's just overlap of everything to kind of make them feel more together.
Yeah, like the fear from his life is kind of gone. They're all like, "Oh, we're out of the woods now."
It's like you can breathe
Everything.
now.
Yes.
And once he starts to cough, there's that sense of panic, like, "Hey, you okay? Hey, are you choking? What's going on?" It starts to do. You ever hear of like the 180 degree rule, where like the camera, you don't want to switch. It's hard to explain on just via audio, but there's a plane where if the camera's portraying something, you don't want to shift it from the very opposite direction because it's going to disorient your viewer.
I see.
So if you're shooting in front of a person, you typically don't want to have the very next shot from behind the person because it's a little bit jarring. So they started to play around with that 180 degree plane. As he's coughing, it's behind him. And now you're seeing from across the table. And now you're seeing again from behind him when he's on the table. And now you're seeing it from across the table again while he's on his back. So it keeps flipping it back and forth, also to disorient you. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another little bit you mentioned, they didn't know like how much blood, but Lambert. I had just heard this one, but Lambert, she got sprayed, and she backed up and she tripped over.
Oh no!
And she went like her heels went over her head. She looked around, she saw they're still filming, so she like scurried back in the scene and continued.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
I think one of the underrated scenes though is the radar ping And you can see Dallas at first as he's the captain of the ship, and of course he's going to be the one to go in the vents and find this thing, and he's got his flamethrower with him. And there's a shift where he's trying to figure out if he goes up the ladder, down the ladder, into the vent, out of the vent, where's he go? And there's a shift where he says, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. And Lambert keeps saying, get out of there. And you see the ping get closer and closer and closer. And then the alien, the jump scare, he reaches out to him. And I always thought it was a bit odd the way the alien reached out to him as if to hug him, And I feel like even the attack plays into the theme that we'll talk about later, that at least I got. But I think that jump scare is pretty underrated when it comes to the movie because of the chest burster is so iconic. And then you have just overall the look of the alien kind of relating to the ship. There's several scenes that it does it, but I feel like Tin Man said it, that's what comes up a lot too. But yeah, any other scenes that you guys thought of that were pretty important before I move on?
I thought it was pretty intense when he's like first walking into, I don't want to say the layer where all the eggs are, that whole area, when he's walking like the leathery pouches, like looking, and then when I always have high tension because how many times have we seen this in film then where he like dusts it off or looks and there's something alive in there, something biological. That moment right there was like, it upped the ante for me. It's like, okay, now it's real. So, chances are we're not going to run into like a full grown monster, Godzilla type monster. We're going to have like something's going to be spawned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that back in the 80s or 79 when I saw it originally. I know I wasn't thinking that way, but now I'm like, oh, this is creepier.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, there's a gestational time. Are they all going to hatch at once?
No, one thing I forgot to mention too about the jump scene in the vents is that because it was Dallas and he was the captain, there's a power shift right after that because we lost Kane, who we thought was going to be our protagonist. Yep. And then, of course, there's Dallas, like, when is the captain of the ship not the
last one,
the main character, and then he's gone. And now we have Ripley, not even as a storytelling perspective, but just even by a ranking perspective, she is the next in line. And that's who we end up following after that. So I thought it was a pretty important scene there to show, like, the captain not only got killed. I mean, there's extended versions of the movie that kind of debunk, that they show him, deleted scenes show him kind of like he has like all this, he's like in the nest, I guess, strung up.
Like in the walls waiting for another egg to come
like the other Aliens movies have them.
Oh, I see.
So deleted scenes have that, but either way, you see his character break before he's killed off. Where it's, I gotta get out of here. I need to go. And you like that, the strength from who you thought was the leading person was broken before he was killed to kind of make way for our stronger character in Ripley. Yeah. So I thought that's cool. One of the other reasons. Tin Man, did you have any other scenes or?
In the beginning, when they were first like exploring before they get attacked with the egg, like I remember thinking that was really cool. I've never seen that before. Like I never paid attention to that. Like, oh, they're exploring after like trying to land a ship on a hostile planet, and then I just heard this today because I was listening to some of the like little interviews and stuff. People were talking about it, but they had found. I know I'm doing it again, but they had. But they had like a studio next door, and the Who were playing, and they had lights for lasers for their show, and that's what they used to cast that like kind of layer of light across the They had a fog machine and a like laser light, and they were
It
like,
looked so cool.
Can we use this? Like,
Yeah.
I guess they just went to the studio next door, and the Who had like a concert thing set up,
That's
and they
insane.
borrowed that from them to put that on. It also looks like they're wearing old lacrosse gloves.
Yeah.
In their spacesuits.
The old
I'm like,
Brian.
I got a pair of those.
Yeah, the Brian.
The old Brian
The real
gloves.
big ones with the wrist guard that goes way up to here.
But the question is this: were the palms cut out or no?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Are those used? His
So-
fingers come right through and everything.
Yep.
So we had mentioned the idea that a lot of these movies differ from one another in terms of identity, and so I kind of wanted to just dive a little bit into that, because the first movie is very much horror and sci-fi kind of mixed together. But when you move into the next one, Aliens, it has more of a action horror feel.
Oh yeah.
And we may dive into this another time, because I feel like we get something, each of us kind of gets something different from this. But like I saw it as a commentary on war, and specifically like the Vietnam War, the way that the aliens were attacking, and they're kind of hidden, like, like they're like hidden in like the traps in the ground and the high grass. Like that's kind of the feeling I got with how the aliens were stored in the walls and everything. And you move into Alien 3, which is kind of a hodgepodge of everything, and you get a little bit more of a dramatic turn.
Oh yeah.
And you get this little commentary on incarceration and religion. And then you move into Alien Resurrection, which is focused on like the science aspect of everything, and the cloning, and kind of a capitalizing on the Wayland Yutani in the background of the first three movies, and now that's front and center of, oh yeah, here's our plan all along to weaponize the alien and all that, and then Prometheus kind of has this almost ethereal atmosphere to it,
Yeah.
and Alien Covenant kind of like a creation story, and so like they each have a very unique identity and differ from one another. Even genre, they differ from one another.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on each of those movies?
I definitely do. As far as like genre goes, it feels like what you said about Aliens was definitely like the space cowboys, kind of like a war movie. Became like, it's almost, I liked it, but the corniness of like the black fella picking on everybody as they get out of bed, as they're just coming out of I don't know how long of years of sleep.
Right.
Come on, and all these corny lines, and they're all so stereotypical military, like hoorah types. They're even doing like pull-ups as soon as they get out of their pods. I'm like, the atrophy would be too great. Anyway, just because I don't like working out at all. I'm like, stop it.
I
Stop.
felt like that led to the audience enjoying them as a unit.
I think so too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Like even their ball busting.
Vasquez thought they were illegal aliens and signed up.
That's
like
right.
they're
I like
joking.
I like the line of one time saying, Vasquez, anybody ever
Mistake you
for a man? And he goes, how about you? Anybody mistake you for a man?
Yeah,
I was like, that's kind of funny. But like no, like as far as genre goes, it was like, yeah, there's sci-fi, but it was less horror. It was more almost like, let's go get them. And it was like drama too in Aliens, because you had like, you knew there was, like Paul Reiser's character, you knew there was going to be, there was this big cover up, right? And it was like mentioned in Alien that, it was all about money. It was bring this thing back
Right.
for study, crew's expendable. And so almost like the underlying theme, there's some underlying theme there of like, this isn't my theme, by the way. There was some like underlying theme there that like people don't matter,
Right.
profit matters. And it might be profit to weaponize the thing. It might be profit to study and sell the thing or whatever. But like the crew expendable, bring it to the corporation so they can get gain from this finding.
You'd think after so many crews that are getting killed, they'd be like, hey, listen, nobody's expendable on this trip.
Yeah.
Let's just bring it back together as a team.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, that's it too. Because then
Like,
you see
let's get people other than miners
Yeah.
to go get this thing.
Miners.
yes, but then you look at it too, though. Even you go all the way up these generations of sci-fi, kind of, you get Armageddon, and it's like, oh, there's the miners. Let's get them again.
Yeah.
They're gonna save the miners. Will save us. So you miners out there, big respect. Hey,
Shout out to the miners.
right here. You're my boy, Blue.
Minor? Yes.
Oh wow.
Miner, I hardly know her.
You perverts.
Which brings me to my third theme. No, I'm just kidding.
Tin Man, do you have any thoughts on the varying themes of the varying genres of the Alien franchise?
No, so watching Aliens first, and then loving it as just a basic entertainment value. I'm in the middle of Predator. I'm in the middle of Terminator. Aliens right in that mix, right in that sweet spot of kind of scary, a lot of action, enjoyable characters, awesome climax with a yummy payoff.
Oh yeah.
And just enjoyed it thoroughly all the way through. Didn't think too much deeply about it, the themes or anything like that. And the third one, I was like, they really went a different direction. And I don't remember really enjoying it or watching it a lot, the third one, because I remember I did have it. My dad's friend recorded it on HBO on his VCR and then brought it as a copy. I feel like that was half our movies. Half our movies could fit 2 movies on it. So it was always one movie and then the next movie.
Yep.
And like Tin Cup and Alien 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the fourth one we saw, Alien Resurrection, with my grandma. And I remember being like, that was such a cool... I thought it was cool.
It was a different take, I thought, on the whole series.
Definitely had a different twist
like
to
what
it.
Vaz said, a little bit of like the religious undertones, too.
Stuff.
It was kind of cool.
The third one definitely did. They had like clerics living on a
That's
penal
right. That's
colony.
right. It was the third one. Yeah.
Is it a penal colony?
Not a penile colony.
All males, I guess you're right.
A colony of pianists. People who play piano.
A penile colony, I suppose.
That's what you said.
Yes, that's what I said. We'll fix it in post.
I started to not fix things in post.
We found that out.
I found that out.
You just add stuff to it. Just add funny sounds. And
Right now, we're getting played off the stage. I'd like to thank.
So let's dive into this theme.
The secret hidden theme.
I don't
Not so
think-
secret.
I mean, I don't
not
think it's so
hidden.
secret, but I'm just gonna say mine, and then I'll move into your guys'. But I'm gonna after you guys do your themes, I'll kind of go through the things that made me think of my theme. So simply, I have the horrors of sexual abuse as the theme of Alien, and like I said, I've got many a reason why and symbols and dialogue and all that.
I disagree.
To go with that.
I'm just kidding.
So, well, Tin Man, we'll go you next. So you're like, how did you feel the theme was? And I ask this of every movie, but not. It's okay to not really know if a movie has a theme. If you're right about a theme, it's just what you feel is the message behind a movie. And if a movie doesn't really seem like it has one to you, then I mean that's part of it too. I mean, you just kind of go with how you feel.
So I like this because the theme doesn't like oversaturate the story. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's like if you have a theme that's the inspiration and drive behind your movie, you should be able to watch the movie at face value and still enjoy it. And the theme be something driven behind it that kind of unlocks more doors or understanding for the characters and the direction that the director and writers went with. Unlike Mother, where if you do not have the ideas and themes, you can't piece the story together or really enjoy the movie at face value sometimes. This movie, I felt like you could watch the movie without seeing the themes, enjoy it for what it was at 100% value.
Oh, yeah.
And then adding the themes to it kind of gives you the behind the scenes feels and reasons that kind of unlock these little secrets little side mission type things, secrets to the movie that make it even more enjoyable. You know, like you don't need them to appreciate the movie, but now that you have them, I feel like you can appreciate it even more.
This film, more than any film that we've looked at this season, did that for me.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
I'll keep going, but I think this film, more than any of the other films, did that for me. Looking at it at a different lens, looking for a theme, as opposed to watching it the first couple times I watched it with no understanding and no desire to find. Furthermore, no desire to find a theme. Entertainment, instant feed me now cheeseburger, microwave popcorn. This is my wheelhouse.
Agree, 100%. Agree.
And I still contend to my dying day that there's nothing wrong with that, and I love it. I very often prefer it. But it's cool to put the old glasses on, flip the lens down. The Dwayne Wade ones from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and anyway.
I thought you were going to say
flip them down, boom,
the Chris Farley ones from
that's right.
What is the name of the
gay
beer?
Yeah.
Flip them down, and
Schmitzke.
Is that what it is?
Yes,
Schmitzke.
flip it down, and off we go. Because that is
Put on
fun.
your Schmitzkes.
Yes.
Or Schmitzkes.
Yes. Like my mind gets, I don't want to say perverse, but my theme, looking for a theme, I'm like, holy cats, how did I enjoy this
Yeah.
so
it
much?
It gets dark.
Yes, it gets real dark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had a smidgen of understanding of that going into the movie and try not to look too deep into it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a vagina attacking that guy's face.
But no, you're right.
Yeah.
And that kind of feeds right into what I was going to say about, I'll be patient for a change.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just scratch the surface, just a hair.
Yeah.
And so that's my first thought, and then watching the rest of how the alien was constructed, the mouth coming out and getting you,
Punch.
Dacha.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Yikes.
Udacha gotcha.
That's it.
Yeah.
If anyone out there knows what we're talking about,
Now I got to go up Indian Hill again.
I know we're gonna say it 3 times.
Nobody. Nope.
Old native stories.
I got my moccasins on. I'm the only one
Oh
protected.
boy, he's
right
wearing
now.
them too.
But so Tin Man, did you have like a formed theme, or is it more like just picking up these things that you knew were part of something?
I didn't want to dig too deep into it because I watched it at face value and enjoyed it and got little hints and knowing kind of the behind the scenes. You had mentioned it too, and I didn't want to dig too hard into it. The only thing is, I did watch a little bit of little YouTube studying, and looked at a lot of the artwork that was done by the H.R. Giger, and it's like, they actually toned down the sexuality of the movie.
Oh, really?
Compared to the artwork. Yes.
Creepers.
The artwork definitely is the inspiration behind a lot of the design, but there's like a legit penis head on the back of the aliens, and the artwork itself. So they rounded the edges off a little bit, but the there was definitely this type of artwork gave rise to what was behind. Came to a head.
Oh my goodness!
Came where? Stop me! K-Max.
You won't. Neither of us will ever stop you. You understand that, right? We're just sitting here giggling even more.
K-Max, did you have like a central theme, or is it kind of the same thing where Tin Man's picking up the stuff?
No, I had a central theme. I thought it was, and then I quickly abandoned it. The initial central theme was, I thought, okay, so now we have an expendable human life, the on board the ship. That's just expendable. So the value of things and treasure over human life. I thought that was initially was going to be my deep theme, to say we have the computer overriding. We have behind the computer has to be this deep dark syndicate on the home planet, wherever that is. That is overriding the mission control, because they're all in the stasis. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not making the decision. Mother is, and then what was the droid?
Ash.
So Ash just got added to the crew last minute. So it's like, okay, so this is just a tale of the proletariat falling victim to the wealthy bourgeoisie in film. That's going to be my theme. Then I did a little bit of reading and thought, all right, let me watch it with this lens. And I watched it with that lens, and I'm like, holy cats, here's what I saw. I see Kane's face get forcibly sexed.
We'll bleep it out. You can say it.
Yes. I know. Yeah, and yet it doesn't.
Hey, he's missed a few bleeps.
Yes.
Well, no, the one you said, "Pardon my French."
That's true.
You were like,
It
that
was
was enough.
pardoned.
That was
So it goes without saying. It says, I always say this. No offense, but if you say that, you can say whatever you want,
yeah,
right?
say whatever you want.
I always like when people say, "It goes without saying," and then
say
it. And then you look like Calvin and Hobbes, where Hobbes looks off in the distance and goes, "I wish it went without saying." Looking into the sunset. But so then Cain is impregnated by the alien and gives a violent birth through the chest. You know, he's got no birth canal. So the alien made one, forced one, and this bloody. And Cain, throughout the entire thing, is helpless, has no choice in the matter, and pays the ultimate price by dying. And then is just disposed of through the airlock. Mm-hmm. No evidence, nice and neat. Let's move on. We got to deal with the consequence.
Quick and nasty.
Sure.
Quick and nasty.
Quick and nasty.
Wrap him
and
up,
so I
send him
thought
out.
to myself, so I dug in a little bit on O'Bannon, one of the writers, and I'm like, you son of a gun. It was so on purpose. Like in the wake of the 70s slasher films, where in abductions where women are getting taken, raped, mutilated. And I get from what he's saying, there was a ton of them. And he was like, okay, let's let the audience, let the men in the audience feel what that feels like then.
Yeah.
Let's sexualize them. Yeah. Let's rape them. And okay, let's rape them with an alien, with this vag-looking creature on his face and just forcing down his throat. And the helplessness, so even they try to remove it, it just tightens up around his throat. So there's nothing you can do about it. I think of that as the one song of the... Is it Trent Reznor? Is it Nine Inch Nails? Bow down before the one you serve. You're going to get what you deserve. That whole song, Head Like a Hole. Yeah. It's that same dark genre I was feeling in this movie then after that. That I never felt when I was watching it the first couple times. But with that lens of saying, you weren't really trying to say this, were you? And I'm like, oh, he sure was trying to say this.
And it starts to unlock the next door and the next door. And next door. You're like, oh man, this whole thing's got
doors.
this.
So then now the thing that I thought was just creepy for, I don't know, 2 decades, 3 decades, where he's folded up like a suitcase in that compartment. All of a sudden he launches out and you see his phallus-like head come erect out. And like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, this can't be. So I didn't know if it was the theme of like retribution. I'd go a different direction from sexual abuse, like retribution for sexual abuse, like dark retribution.
Yeah.
Dark, like a dark day of reckoning.
Reckoning. There you go.
Here you are, men. You know this is dark, and the only thing that's going to save you. Remember, like in was it Godzilla -1? The only thing that's going to save you then is going to be this. Was that the one? No, the one was Train to Busan. Where the only thing that's going to get through the filter, Vaz said it was going to be something that's different. The women, you know, something different and innocent. I thought that about this. It's like the only thing that's going to save you here is going to be something that is not oppressively male, and that's Ripley.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden you have this heroine, this triumphant birth of a hero in 1979, where there's probably no surplus of female heroes.
Right.
And you know, even there's some she does not get flustered. She does not get where all the men are, the sky is falling and overreacting.
Right,
she's calm and cool.
She's like
she's analytical. Yep. She's all the things that.
She's calling them on their lack of following protocol because they're emotional.
She's the structured person. Yeah. And you think of any person, like even in politics or any woman in power, an executive right now, one of the first things that a lot of chauvinistic or like, you know, male people will say, men will say is, oh, they're just too emotional to lead. And we hear some of that now with the election. Mm-hmm. Oh, you couldn't possibly have this because they're just way too emotional.
I'm going to put a pause on that because we'll have a section for Ripley after the themes for sure.
Sounds good.
So we'll bookmark that. But so what else? Was there any other things that happened that kind of supported that? Or
I think also the fact that like that. No, I don't think it's so blatant. I think it's just the fact that like she almost went back into this stasis. Like the escape was, again, I think like the Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am affair guy that hits it and quits it, right? Mm-hmm. She hits the self-destruct, all of this, I'm just going to purge this whole damn thing, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Almost like taking on that Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am role.
Okay.
Hit it, now I'm going to quit it and get the hell out of here. And I don't know if that's what they meant, but that's what they did. They did that, not me.
Yeah.
And I saw that as that pod's going away from that place about to explode. Like the last thing she's got to wash her hand of is that doggone alien is still kind of stuck there, and she kind of gets rid of it and it goes flying out into space. And now she washes her hands of it. I'm going to just go off into space here. The consequences of all this are behind me. Go back into my stasis and head for home. Okay. And I thought that was like the last bit of, kind of painting an image of just getting out of there. Like a guy wiping his hands of it, nice and clean. Gonna go rest now. Yeah. She had everything but a stogie. Yeah.
She's smoking a cigarette.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's connecting dots from some structure and some scaffolding that I came across. Yeah. That's what I thought that would be kind of supporting the theme of what he was trying to get by.
Ash even calls him Kane's son. He like kind of quietly says it. So like I watched it with the caption on it. When they first see the alien, like they're like, "Oh, he's getting bigger. It's like the size of whatever." And he's like, "Oh, Kane's son."
No
he
kidding.
He calls it like it was. He gave birth to this thing, and this is, the demon of some sin that occurred.
He was so proud of it.
Yeah.
So Ash again was the
android.
synthetic.
Yeah. Yep.
Was almost like how beautiful it was, how perfect it was, unkillable. Anyway,
and when they kill Ash, white stuff goes everywhere.
So I'll tackle that. I'll handle that.
Oh my goodness!
So
those poor villagers.
Strike one, Christopher.
So I've had this. I've related this movie to that very sexual undertones and overtones, and I had this thought of this movie being about sexual abuse for some time, but I was excited to watch this movie with pretty much only looking for things to support that theme. And before we started to record, K-Max kind of let me know that he looked into the writer and what the writer's intention was, and it felt like Godzilla -1 all over again, where it felt like I was receiving the message correctly. And so when I'm watching the movie or thinking back on it, I'm hoping that it's kind of the same feeling where I'm like, okay, this all relates here. This connects this and that, and this symbol here. And so it was kind of cool to get that feeling again right before recording.
I can't wait to hear some more of the connected dots.
So the reason I kept it like the horrors of sexual abuse is because when I look for a theme, I look to see, is it supported throughout the movie? Is the beginning, does it set you up? During the middle, does it kind of talk about aspects of that theme? And at the end, does it put a nice little bow on it to let you know, okay, here's the message I had for you, unwrap it, and now you can kind of enjoy the movie again. And I was telling my wife when I was watching Alien for the podcast, I was like, again, things happen for a reason, and somehow throughout this season we've had movies that relate to one another and chapters that flow into the next chapter. And so we had Skinamarink last week, where to me it was about the artist putting the viewer in the perspective of the child in a house of abuse. Mm-hmm. And just kind of, you get the meme from Bird Box where the guy's behind, and kind of just like making you watch and holding your eyelids open. So like that's what it felt like they were doing with Skinamarink. And I told my wife, I said, I think like watching Alien, they did the same thing but for men. And they're just like, see, this is what women have to fear, and this is what everything sticks out, and everything. This is what's so scary about, men and everything's so phallic and everything. It was interesting that Skinamarink, the way I viewed what the artist was doing, flowed into watching Alien, and now it's another artist trying to put us in that perspective again. And I mean, you could assume that mostly men are going to see this movie, so some of the things right away, I kind of noticed, hints before watching it this time, different symbols, different imagery, and it starts off to me when they get the distress call, and as they're lowering onto the planet, they refer to like I don't know if it was a rope or latch or whatever. They call it like the umbilical or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So such a organic term to give that. So the dialogue for me kind of started off, and then even watching when they awaken in the circular thing, it's like it just feels. It felt to me like the ship was its own character. Like they gave it a name. It was like the Nostromo to start things off. So I started to keep track of how the ship felt during everything. And to me, the ship was almost like a symbol for the human body. Like you had the shafts and the ducts and the vents, and they would even open up like valves, like a blood vessel. And obviously they called it Mother.
Yeah.
Right off the bat as like a Nostromo, and they called the intelligence or whatever the interface Mother. And so at the end, kind of one symbol leads into another symbol here, but at the end when it's just Ripley and she gets away from the rest of the Nostromo, is just like the emergency ship or whatever, and the alien's stuck in there, and she shoots it with the harpoon thing, and it shoots him out. That's that to me, that was almost like another birth. Because the alien is also hanging out by another umbilical.
Oh, yeah.
And this idea that, it's hanging out of the ship, and more support for the theme, beginning, middle, and end, the horrors of sexual abuse, unwanted pregnancy, and what Ripley ultimately has to do is let go of this unwanted pregnancy. And I guess she's part of the ship, but the cat, I mean, to me, the cat is kind of like this symbol of, I guess, like the pet is almost like singlehood, I guess. So it's, to me, it was like the cat was like a stamp of, I don't need anyone else. It's just me and my cat, like that kind of stamp, to let the audience know, like, that's it. There's no other. No other life form.
Spinsterhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like that feel.
It's cat ladies.
So, but like,
because it felt unfazed by an alien killing things, attacking. Like it's watching as someone dies. It's just kind of like, whatever.
Right. But it wasn't human. So it was like,
Right.
it was kind of, to me, it was like the stamp of, yep, there's no other, there's too much fear. There's too much destruction and abuse that had happened, and she's just alone with the cat now. Like,
okay,
that's how I felt.
That's
with
interesting.
And of course, all the tubes and the phallic-looking structures within the ship, and then even to me the like the pods that they awaken from almost had like a uterine shape to it.
You know what I thought, if I might add, is I thought that the circular, it looked like a series of birth control pills. If I, if
Oh
I,
yeah,
to
back
me,
then
it-
that's how they
like,
used to be, and in the circular pattern.
again,
Yeah.
I thought that looking at it, I thought when I saw the theme and I heard Vaz saying connections, I was almost going to say it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. But I'm like, they were empty, right? So they were all empty. So that's like, there's nothing,
no more-
there's
no
nothing
more
to
pills
prevent.
for the-
You know what I mean? There's nothing to prevent
okay.
this impregnation. I'm like, that was a weird thing to notice. I thought,
Huh.
And
I mean, they could have put him in any direction, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Why specifically, though?
and maybe it was.
and they even had a different sections of the ship that kind of made it feel more alive, I guess. Like they had like the brain area where you talk to Mother.
Yep.
You had the area where they had dinner and all that. So it just felt like there's different parts of the ship the way there's different parts of the human body. And but moving on to, I had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the alien is an unintended pregnancy. And in this case, forcibly, as K-Max laid out there. And I even have Ash. I'll hold on, Ash. But like all the other male characters, like I said, were ways to get the audience to view the horrors of sexual abuse and rape and that sort of thing, where there's no other beings. It's just this alien looking thing that violates you, the male character. And you mentioned the tail that goes around the neck, and like just the very human look of it too. Like the face hugger is like two hands just together with the fingers, and they go around you, and just the idea of that too. Not even, you got the phallic thing that goes down the throat, but then you have the hands, much like an attacker might grab someone by the head to forcibly do stuff. And so each male character kind of almost spoke to different, I guess, levels of manhood. You had like the blue collar workers, you had the guy in charge, you had the scientist / medical officer. So you kind of had different, a different range of men that might be watching this, that might be needing of that perspective when it comes to that topic. And so when we get to Ash, he's the medical, I don't know what his official titles are, but he's like the scientist guy, he's the medical officer on board. And he's supposed to be, much like real medicine and real science, supposed to be the one you can rely on for assistance, and comes to find out that he is just a worker for the government, or the
man.
could be the man, could be corporate guy, and he's actually not an ally, as just another tool for some agenda pusher. And that the way that victims of sexual abuse could be used to push an agenda in even today's politics. How can we support someone that does X, Y, and Z to women, and women, we need to, as victims of X, Y, and Z, need to stand up together. So it's, to me, Ash's character kind of speaks to that, where it was, you thought you had someone on board that was truly there to help in terms of medicine, is actually there to just push their own agenda. Right. And also support the idea that the people behind that agenda are, again, males, as portrayed by a middle-aged white man in Ash. And of course, when he gets his head hit off, he's got quote white blood, but
white stuff goes
obvious metaphor there. But then even his insides, it was like an old man. I don't know, just everything about old man there with the haircut, the way he moved, the way he talked, the insides. I'm a nurse, so I could kind of see that, but it's like catheters, and so you saw like the tubes with like the bulbs towards the ends of them,
Mm-hmm.
like those are all catheters blown up with the balloon. So like the idea that he's filled with catheters, which are predominantly like with older men that might have issues with their urination and all that. So nothing was just there on accident when I started to go through all of this.
Man, I would have never saw most of that.
I
if
don't
not a
deal
lot
with
of
too
that.
many catheters, so
I don't anymore, thank goodness.
just plays with them for fun now.
They're more recreational.
Yeah, it's recreational.
We talked about the face hugger, and it burst from Kane's chest, and again, another phallic-looking thing, and it scurries off, and when it becomes a full-grown xenomorph, it's got the second mouth, and you look at the way that everyone dies, and I forget his name. The guy with the hat. Right. That guy.
The
Right.
with the chains.
Yeah. But he died like he
Brett.
again, Brett. He gets
It's
skull
mouth, penis,
skull
bang.
and so like he dies by the phallic looking thing. And you flash forward and his buddy gets killed by the same thing, the punching penis mouth thing. And then Lambert seems like a combination of maybe that and then the tail going up between her legs.
Her
and,
skirt or her pants, whatever she has on.
And you talk about the way that Ash tried to dispose of Ripley too, where he's
I'd say,
they show all the nudie mag cutouts behind him, and then he's rolling up a nudie mag to shove down her throat.
Yep.
I guess to suffocate, but like the most inefficient way to kill someone, and that the idea that he rolled up the nudie mag into another phallic symbol and is
shoved it
trying
in her
to
face,
get her, yeah. Mm-hmm. And towards the end there, you had, after all of this carnage, our lone victim in Ripley has decided to initiate self-destruction.
Right.
And to me, again, horrors of sexual abuse, when someone goes through all of that negativity and abuse and wrongdoings,
Trauma.
what's some people can't see anything left but to activate self-destruction. She's the whole idea of escaping self-destruction to move forward, and then you go right into the scene where getting rid of the unintended pregnancy and breaking free from that, and
Becoming a cat lady.
and just becoming you're alone by yourself, and the only one to deal with the rest of this is yourself.
Yeah.
You leave a recording so someone knows your story, but again, the horrors of sexual abuse. Poor Ripley is just the only way she survived all this was to escape on her own and not have any contact with anyone else. And so that's why I said it takes several dark turns when you start to relate everything to the theme. And so the idea of...
Yeah, it holds like way more weight than being like, hey, you survived.
Yeah,
and everyone
it's no
else
longer a
didn't make
happy
it.
story. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a happy ending that she survived. It's like, wow, that's
Like,
what
wow,
it took
you
to...
barely are surviving.
Right.
You plan to just let's all
You-
die.
you were gonna blow
Let's
it up.
Everyone die. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I have in a nutshell for all of these things coming back to this idea of the horrors of sexual abuse. You guys have any input on that?
Man, I don't have any more than just a little bit. I think I had a fraction of some of those insights, but like the more detailed stuff, I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if there wasn't such an outspoken kind of agenda to to say this is kind of the point that I'm making here, I would never be able to connect those dots.
Right.
So this is kind of the one film that that I've actually got a chance to look at some of the, because it's been around for what, 40 years, right? So you're not paying attention if you don't hear all the commentary or some of the commentary over the years.
Right.
So loaded with that, it's been kind of neat to kind of see some of those things, but still not be able to make the connection of all those things. As Vaz is saying, I'm like, yeah, that adds up. That adds up. That's a bit of a stretch, but no, it's not. That adds up too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I feel like it doesn't take away from the initial viewing where you didn't have any of that.
Right.
Because it still holds up as a movie on face value.
And that's a cool thing,
And
right? Credit to the filmmaker for that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Absolutely.
it's good to have these. It's good to have them. And Disney's learning a hard lesson. It's good to have these films with some social commentary in them and some moral lesson and some theme that moves the narrative moves the needle in the right direction. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's not a bad thing. I get a little, and again, this is going to sound awful, I think I get a little exhausted by it these days because there's so many needles being moved and less entertaining of me.
Right.
Don't forget, I'm still paying $20 to see this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Finding a sitter, taking a night off of work, closing the barber shop. I'm paying darn near $100 to watch this movie. You better be entertaining me.
Right.
Don't just preach at me.
This movie has all the themes that a current environment should be wanting to hear. Mm-hmm. But it does it in a way that doesn't alienate your viewer. That doesn't make you... doesn't make you hate yourself for being a guy.
Right,
but
right.
like it still lets you have the experience
and
the theme behind it that paints the picture.
Yeah, and it forces you to feel that way, like kind of like Skinamarink did. It's like,
but it put in the work to make you to enjoy it, to see it at face value, and it's not overhanded or heavy-handed.
Yeah,
Nail on the head stuff. It's hey, let's dig down a little bit and see more for what it is, and you can enjoy it even on this level.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
bravo.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think one of the important things is that all three of us don't apologize for how we perceive a movie or how we perceive a message or anything like that, because that's all we have is our own perceptions. Mm-hmm. But it feels good when, like I said, you mentioned was that O'Bannon?
O'Bannon, yep.
His intention was to create that perspective for men. And right before we're going to record, cool. I feel so
vindicated.
Of like, wow, watching this movie, like I don't want to be like the wet blanket. Oh no, this movie's all about the horrors of sexual abuse. I don't want to be the person that puts that dark twist on movies like that, on movie classics and greats. But when it was the writer's intent to do that, now it feels awesome.
Yeah, and from what I understand, there was hard conversations between him and Scott. Is that right?
Ridley Scott, yeah.
Like there were hard conversations saying, because he was not only one of the original, there was two story writers, one that adapted it to screenplay, and it was him. And then he became one of the executive producers, so he had a lot of pull. And as a writer, that's a dream, by the way, to have that kind of pull with the director saying, this is a good vision, I'm still going to be behind the financing of this. Because the executive producer, boy, it's like, it's not getting made if I don't say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter how powerful. And how powerful was Ridley Scott at the time? You know what I mean?
Right.
He wasn't the name that he is now.
Things he did before that.
But man, I'd like to know more about the experience that O'Bannon and others have had, that they had to get them to say, because I think it's more than just, there's a lot of slashers and we want to level the playing field here. Yeah. We want to make a movie that does this. But that's enough if that does paint that picture and turn a critical lens toward patriarchy or the male chauvinism or anything like that, or the fear that women when I leave the gym at 10 o'clock at night, there's a set of fears that I don't have to deal with being a man.
Yeah.
And there's a fact.
Right.
And some guys, some blockheads will say, oh, yeah, you're just really reaching now. Am I? And my daughter leaves that same gym at 10 o'clock.
Like,
There's a whole basket of fears she has to live with.
Right. We don't have that perspective.
No.
You know? And like we said, that the movie seems like that's what it's doing is, and it's funny that you pick out like a dark night after working out, and the whole movie's in the dark, kind of giving that same sense of like, can I walk alone in this dark hallway? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Even doing something benign as he was on a mission, like scientifically, to go discover. He wasn't out there putting himself out there being a maverick, the guy that got face raped. Mm-hmm. So
there was
kind of a parallel
distress
there
beacon,
too.
right? Was it distress beacon?
Yeah,
they got woke up prematurely for a distress beacon.
They thought it was an SOS, but they couldn't interpret it. They had to go investigate before it could be fully interpreted.
Yeah, so his intentions weren't to go and destroy. It was to help.
Yeah.
So it was a very benign situation. And again, drawing the parallels, young lady or lady, woman of any kind, no intentions, but just this thing sprung on them. So it's an important, a movie that I would have never expected had so much conscience. Has for that purpose, has that purpose. I never would have even seen it.
No, so I had you bookmark Ripley. I'd like to talk about her as a heroine after hearing all of this too. I love the characteristics that you pointed out. Like she's, for the most part, unfazed, and sticks to her the correct thing to do in certain situations and the right thing to do. And you would have done, if you were me, you would have done this thing. Kind of assuming that everyone else is as level-headed as her. Yeah. And kind of makes the idea that she has standards for everyone, that not everyone's holding up her meeting. Yeah. Do you guys want to elaborate more on?
I will, by just shedding a little light on two other characters that kind of painted her picture a little bit. Brett and Parker, the two mechanics. Okay. Just kind of like a blatant picture of, again, I say, oh man, they're being so stereotypical, these characters. But I'm like, wait a minute, this was 1979. Many characters are made now based on these two characters, probably. Right. So I give them grace more than I would normally on a newer movie. The two mechanics, kind of like the picture of male chauvinism, condescending to Ripley, disregarding, blowing her off, like selfish, pretty much only fueled and focused on their pay and their shares. How many shares are they going to get? Yeah. I'm going to do this. And then she's almost like bargaining with them for a little while, for about 2 seconds. Then it's like, all right, you idiots, I'm just going to do this myself. But she bargained with them where they were at for a little while, like a good leader will. Mm-hmm. And upon seeing that they're incompetent and incapable, moved on. But I think that those two characters help define her as someone that actually cares, someone that's sticking to the mission, someone that has the balls to see it through. Mm-hmm. And I use that term on purpose because, like, she's then throughout the movie the person with the balls. She's the person that's taking on these traditional masculine roles, doing it right, unmoved, undaunted, focused, uncorrupted by what's happening, hyper aware, and ability to make these hard decisions. Like, protocol says we don't let him in. Right. That's a hard decision. Yeah. That's your friend. Yeah. Yep. But that's your hard, and even telling everyone else, and even telling the captain, standing up to your captain. Yeah. It had Neville from when Neville Longbottom he had
standing up to your friends.
Standing up to your friends is hard. Standing up to your enemies is hard. Standing up to your friends is even harder. Yeah. 5 points Gryffindor. The winning 5 points. Recalculations have been made. Redecoration is in order. But so many things that Ripley have become like almost a template for heroines. So many badass things, I think maybe the term the heroine badass probably originated there. Maybe. In my life.
It's definitely one of those characters where opposed to like the woke culture, people just accepted her because of her fortitude. It was not oh, well, she's a woman, it's this and that. You know, like you watch the movie, at first you kind of think like she's the one a-hole initially.
Yep.
She's the only one that's like kind of emotion, the less emotional. She's like emotionless.
Yep.
When everyone else is kind of
The whole team wants to let him in. It's a team.
Yeah.
We're a team.
Yep.
And she's
just,
like,
nah. And afterwards, you're like, oh, because that's the characteristics you need to actually survive something like this.
right. I like the movie too because, and again, I'm definitely running on your point. This is full credit you, but like she was the heroine based on her merit. She was the tough. She was unmoved.
Yep.
She was the brave. She was the brilliant, and she was the unmoved. It had, to me, it had very little about her being a woman. She just was the most capable person on the ship.
Right.
And in my head, that's where true equality comes in. I'm not even getting political. That's why I look up to that character, because it's like, she's the baddest badass on the ship. She's the smartest smarty pants on the ship. And she's the best leader on the ship. And she's got the biggest balls on the ship.
And I think it's
interesting
so
too. By all means, run through a wall for her. With her.
It's known that the part of Ripley was, it could be a man, could be a woman, whatever happens. But the way it played out, the way that the character's written is so strong, and the way that that part is acted feels so correct to how that character is written. And so I don't think it could have been played by another man, especially when you had Lambert's character there. So I think that's pretty cool that it worked out the way it did, and a woman was cast for that part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think one of the other things I like about it too is that you pretty much said it already, but every other character has flaws that come up, and you can see them on screen, and Ripley doesn't seem to have those same flaws. So like you said, it's on merit. So to begin with, she probably should have been the one running the ship, but she's part of the working class, you know, the miners or whatever they are, space bus drivers, whatever they're transporting. And so she tries to stop them based on protocol. So like Dallas, even though he's the captain, and you know, for the most part, he's got the right values, but he disobeys like the scientific rules of what should be and shouldn't be allowed on the ship. And then you see his courage fall apart when he's in the vents. And then, you know, Ash, obvious reasons, he's actually not a good guy. And then the two mechanics, their obvious flaws are right from the start, where they're kind of poking fun at Ripley or and the captain as well. And then Lambert, seemed like just such panic in every situation.
That we thought pre-production about the character Lambert, just like you know, the writers and the director saying, well, you're the audience, you're the fear of the audience right there. That's what your role is. And the actress saying, wait, I thought I had the role of Ripley. And then saying, I'm sorry, but you're this, and saying, oh, this is way different.
Yeah. Yep.
Tin Man, did you have anything to add on Ripley?
No, that was it.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of stole everything.
Yeah. I know. I apologize, but I continue to do it. So am I really sorry? I don't think so.
I'm okay with what I added. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I try to relate Ripley to other heroines at that time. So 79. So I think Halloween came out in 78. You know, Laurie Strode with Jamie Lee Curtis. And the big difference is that Jamie Lee Curtis is surviving the shape, whereas Ripley is fighting back against it. I feel like.
Yeah,
because I didn't see this movie until way later, like till this year. So I saw Aliens multiple times. So get away from her, you bitch. Like that was always like a
yes.
great scene. They were just like,
Stay
oh,
away
heck
from
yeah.
it. No,
Yeah.
is that
me.
Scream 2? But I also thought of Linda Hamilton from the Terminator series, and like how it's almost like they just tried to copy and paste Ripley for that storyline. Like she starts off as like this
Kind of silly waitress,
working class
Yep.
girl that ends up having to fight off this thing,
Yep.
and then in the next installment is this.
She,
All of a sudden, she knows how to fight everything, and
Yeah.
like she's the strong lead, and takes care of business.
Yeah, she's also like mentally unstable. They have to have her locked up. They locked her in the mental health ward for what was it? She blown up a bank or something. John
Something
Connor
like
says
that.
it's like, hey, she tried to blow up a bank. No. But I don't know. I like Linda Hamilton's character in there. I like that she went like almost too far. Like, here's John Connor. You get attacked by a Terminator. Your son is going to be the future, the human resistance, and now you're crazy. You're just sitting in a padded room doing pull-ups off your bed that you pulled over. Dr. Silverman, how's the knee?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that line. Right?
Yep, I got it. I got you.
So this serves as the last installment in the horror versatility chapter. So I just kind of wanted to wrap it up a little bit here before we move into our next chapter. I wanted to point out, I thought it was pretty funny. Tin Man, you had The Sixth Sense, Tremors, American Psycho, and then I think those were the influential movies, but then you had movies that stuck out to you that were like favorite movie going experiences or movie watching experiences, like It, where you're watching with your family and people are hiding behind couches and everything.
Yeah.
And then Aliens, which is like borderline, it's in that arena, and so I thought it was pretty cool that we could see the influences of horror even in your arena of
for a
movies.
guy who doesn't like the horror movies in the horror section of Blockbuster. These still fit under the category of horror as at least a subgenre.
Right.
And I like almost all my favorite movies seem to have at least some horror element to it. So
Right.
there's
like some monsters.
even the ones I've been watching
tension.
recently. So like Mr. Brooks, if anyone's ever seen that one out
Right.
there.
I mean, it's
like
a serial killer.
It's a serial killer thriller. Kevin Costner, that's who it is. Frighteners, Michael J. Fox. If anyone's ever seen that one, like I got so many movies that are like horror. They're not even horror adjacent. It's like a section of horror in these movies, and they're like, oh, those are my favorite movies. If there's a little bit of horror, some action, some drama, some comedy, some thriller, some suspense. I don't know. I think that's like a good movie experience. If you're a little scared and still enjoy the story that's being told, I like that.
And then I remember Tin Man or K-Max big into like Frankenstein, and that's like one of the OGs of horror.
Gosh, love it. Love the classic horror literature that's been turned in. And then I'm not the literature snob that says, oh, the book's so much better than the film. Yeah. Because I'm also quite lazy. I like to consume things as easy as you can get it to me. So an audiobook, I'll take it. Movie, better yet. So
Ready Player One?
Yeah, exactly. So like give me so give me a wonderful book to read. Great. Give me an audiobook. Better. Give me a movie that holds the theme and gives me a lot of the emotion and the yummy payoff that the book does. Best. Because then it takes me less time and less effort to consume it. And I'm in for that because I don't have time and I have a lot of interest, so my effort's got to be divvied up.
Yeah, I need a whole bunch of good reviews on a book before I spend the time.
That's right. And so like what Vaz was saying, like horror is never traditionally been my favorite. it's usually a seasonal occurrence for me. Horror is right around this time of the year, which has been a blast, by the way. October's been awesome.
I went to that haunted house you had suggested.
Would you like it?
Yes, we
Ooh.
did.
Tell you pretty good, right?
It was very good.
Do you want to give it a little shout out? I don't know
Shout
the name
out
of it.
to
Is it Niagara? Is it Niagara County Pumpkin Farm? I think
that's what it sounds right.
I
Right?
think
Niagara,
so.
Niagara Pumpkin Farm.
On 429, they're on Town Line Road.
429, just down the road from
Cherry Bank.
Cherry Bank Farms.
And Niagara Community College or SUNY Niagara.
Or SUNY Niagara, yep.
Just really, really good first class pumpkin farm right here in Niagara County.
Yeah, you would not expect it, but it was a
great hot cider, great hospitality,
cider,
3 or 4 bonfires. You and your
just
group
started
can-
for you. You can go jump at a bonfire and hang out there for a minute. We bought tickets, went on the ride. The first thing we did is we stopped at this giant pumpkin monster thing that starts
Did I
talking to
tell
you,
you?
and I was like, "That thing looks like it's like $1,000, $2,000."
That's right. Animatronics where it reaches out over the hay cart.
Yeah.
It's really, really top
I
rate
was like,
stuff.
I was like, "Wow, they really put money into this thing." And so we did the whole thing.
And then even the pageantry, I won't ruin it, but looks like we're stuck. You're going to have to take it from foot here.
Yep.
And I looked
And
at
then we
my
had to
son,
go
I'm like,
through like
I
a-
am not walking anywhere off this cart.
Yeah.
And the driver goes, sorry, buddy, you have to. Oh, boy.
Oh, we had a couple good jokes though. There's one where there's like a javelin through this girl's face,
Uh-huh.
and then my wife was like, "Hey Jenny, it looks like your Saturday night." And the lady coming to scare you was just like, and she started giggling when she was scared. I'm like, yes, that was a good one. They had those. They had those pigs that look like you sit on them and have to race them, like little track.
Yeah.
And I was joking. I was with a group of friends that like I had one mutual friend and was like kind of her friends. So I wasn't really in that main group.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my wife could beat everyone on those. She just has to sit on it backwards. And they were like,
Oh, my
ha,
goodness.
ha, ha, ha. It took her like went on a wave. And I was like,
Check, please.
she could beat everyone there. She just has to sit on it backwards. And they're like,
I know from experience.
I got hit for that one, and it was worth it.
Not me. The guy I know.
I'm not saying anything. She's going to drink my coffee. That place is great, though. Check it out. Good
Next
food.
year. Check it out next year.
Good food, good cider, really nice place.
Yeah, worth it. Doesn't look like
No, it
Whole
doesn't
much
look
from
like
the road.
No, but it's
And then there was someone with a vest on, signaling me in. So
I'm so glad you checked out the hayride though, because I did not expect it
It
to
was
be
worth
that
it. It was
good.
worth the money. Absolutely.
Nice. So the back to horror's reach into
yeah.
other genres.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over. Even K-Max, your Harry Potter stuff is just. I mean, the base of it.
Oh yeah,
Witches and werewolves and
ghosts
and
nearly headless Nick and moaning Myrtle. Not that one. Just the whole. I love those, and those are like some of my favorites.
and they're like I said, they're just riddled with horror elements in them. Even the first one that's meant for like little, not little kids, but like the same ages that Harry and his friends are. You have the cloaked thing just eating a unicorn, drinking its blood like that.
Well, even
if I describe it, it sounds like straight up horror.
Yeah. Even Hagrid breaking down pounding on the door, and the door, boom, a jump scare of that, and I mean the lightning behind him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many elements. I love that. I love that horror can cross the ages so well.
Yeah.
And like you can take a story from a long time ago and modernize it a little bit, make it still useful, and you see the different versions of it as you go through, and you're like, oh, look at this take on this. Almost like Godzilla, like, look at this take on this one. Look at this take on Dracula.
Yeah.
What if this worked out this way? And even like those little, not satire, but the little takes on the books, like the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
Oh, right.
I love that stuff.
Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so much fun because you're introducing a whole different group who would probably never open up Pride and Prejudice.
Right.
You introduce some zombies. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Educational tools.
I like that.
All right.
So
So
horror reimagination. Or
right.
reimagining. Yeah.
with a W?
That's a theme.
That's
That's another story.
we just got
altogether.
off of watching Frankenhooker. 1990.
You watch Frankenhooker.
I missed the party just because I would not watch Frankenhooker. That's not true. I had so much other stuff. I feel like I missed it really bad.
It was an experience. We'll say that. If anyone's out there's a 1990 film that Bill Murray said, if there's a film you watch in 1990, that's got to be it, right?
That's right.
Frankenhooker.
Bill Murray, man.
Which is funny because it's based on, like we just talked about Frankenstein, and my mind watching it, I'm like,
reimagination of
it. This movie's about how women are sexualized and how they're this guy's view on women is just based on the parts and rather than what's on the inside.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it does have like message too.
Yes. And he has to eat his words, I guess, so to speak.
Well, again, he has to put a new perspective.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
that's funny.
The horror chapter, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to say
this
thank
is a
you, but
close-
he keeps expanding. Vaz keeps expanding my horizons with these. I'm afraid I won't even know who I am soon.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to enjoy a movie outright after a while.
Yes, before it was just popcorn and penny whistles. Now there's depth and theme,
Some theme and pain and sadness.
melancholy and infinite sadness.
and so much abuse.
So much abuse.
Yeah.
Out loud.
A lot of
And
SA
grief
going on.
I didn't know Geppetto was into that. That's what's next. Jiminy Cricket, you
It's
freak.
not his nose that's growing.
Oh my!
Oh my.
Quickly, chapter turn.
Well, I do want to thank you guys for going on this extended chapter along with me for the month of October.
Et votre servie, monsieur.
No idea. The next chapter, we're going to dive into, how did I explain it to you guys? It was kind of, we're going with Thanksgiving and forgiveness and changing of perspectives. Well, you gave me a phrase.
Oh, yes. After further review.
After further review.
Yes.
They
Taking a look to see if you can see better in someone, maybe, right? See it better.
So the idea is for us to find some movies that we had a bad first impression of, and either did or didn't change that impression. Because one of the things we'll do is we'll watch a movie that the three of us can agree on that we still don't have the greatest impression of, and see if we can salvage anything. And
That sounds fun.
I mean,
All right. First up, Frankenhooker.
2 out of 3 of us love that movie. But then the other part of that is movies about changed perceptions.
Ooh.
So,
I like that.
yeah. So quite a deep pool, at least for the second aspect of that, the chapter that we'll talk about next. So should be some good things that we bring up. Should be some good conversation. And then we'll end up, again, with 2 movies. One will be a movie about changed perception that we'll watch, and one movie will be about us trying to salvage something.
Try to find some gems in a pile of trash.
Don't forget, before we get too far away, don't forget to check out the Instagram, Depth Perception Movie Podcast Instagram. Take a look on their stories, posts, and things like that.
That's right.
Thinking of some different ideas to get the word out there a little bit more, and so keep an eye on that, because exciting things to come.
Beauty.
Excellent.
And spoiler alert, giveaway.
Oh,
That's right. One of our first sponsors, Hilltop Cuts, with a giveaway.
Hey, shout out to Hilltop Cuts.
Giveaway. Decent cuts at a decent price.
There he is. I don't know who he is,
No idea.
but I know where he is.
And I know he's handsome as
Oh, that's getting bleeped for sure.
I know. Thank you very much. Mom, I said